Hello everybody and welcome to some Binding of Isaac Afterbirth here on the channel. We're going to be starting a new save file. It's the first episode of this game. It's going to be on the channel. It's a very good game, very fun. Interested in seeing all of the new changes in Afterbirth to it, and figured I would make videos of it as well. So we're going to jump right in here. I am, just for the warning, used to playing with a controller, so it's going to be a little weird playing with the keyboard. And we're gonna hop right in against the little jumper dudes. Interested to see what some of the new items and new synergies we can get are, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and bomb to see what we get in here, and it's gonna be a bomb and some coins, so pretty good gambit for us. And that was a pretty bad move as we take a couple of pretty early, pretty bad hits here. A bunch of full charges in this room, which should be useful. And take out the Leaper dudes, and I will come back for the Eternal Heart. What that does is if you get to the end of the floor and enter the next floor with it, it'll actually give you an extra heart container, and what we just did is there was a tinted rock, a little darker, and they have X's on them. Usually you either get like soul hearts or a chest from them. Unfortunately we don't have a key to open the chest, so we're going to be just moving right along. And before we go to the boss, we're going to look for our item room. And it should be down here. Past these rocks. The item rooms are just as is item rooms. Pretty self-explanatory. They have random items in them, and we're going to be fighting the mini boss Gluttony here, which is a pretty easy fight as long as you can avoid the telegraphed Brimstone shots and the occasional little wild flare there. And I'm gonna get an Are You a Wizard pill, which I'm not too keen on. I am not very good at fighting when we have this effect on. Basically, as you can see, gives you diagonal shots in your tears, which not very good if you can't aim them very well. Luckily, this isn't too bad of a room to do. If we had a bunch of spiders, it'd be very hard. Definitely gonna wait for the effect to wear off before we go to our boss. Grab a bomb here and see what we get to start out with, and we get Rotten Baby. One of my favorite items, shoots out a fly that does, I think, double your tear damage to enemies upon contact, and it'll just keep spitting them out. I don't think we can reach that tinted rock yet. Only one bomb, so we just go straight to the boss. Able to get our health back from the, I think it was Gluttony. We're going to be fighting Monstro. Pretty, not too hard of a boss once you get used to him. Just jumps around, does the spit of various attacks, and that is about it. Should be able to take him out pretty easy thanks to the big damage buff from Rotten Baby especially. Very good really early, and it scales up as you get your tier increase. Basically one of, if not the best familiar in the game besides maybe Dark Bone. And we're going to get an extra HP and move on. And I forgot the Eternal Heart, which would have given us another HP container back there. Needless to say, not the best move there. And try to avoid his shots, kill these new little flies. Well, tin rock for the soul heart. We're going to try not to lose that soul heart, because if we don't take any red heart damage on this floor especially, we have a pretty good chance of getting a Deal with the Devil item, which basically you trade your, oh, there's half of one. You trade your HP container for items, which some of them are very good and can carry around. Just gonna let Rotten Baby do his work here. And let's see if we can get any utility items out of these little poops here. And we get a heart, not really that much help, unless we lose a bunch of HP on the floor and really need one. But we do get a couple coins. We can move on. Would have been nice to have the extra heart container, so we don't really have to. Now we're gonna. That worked out pretty well. Extra coin, and would have probably been able to easier get a Deal with the Devil item, or else get more of them. But that is if we get the Deal with the Devil. But it's not the worst thing. HP really handy, but it's also not the most important thing. And it looks like we're going to get our treasure room here, but we don't have any keys, so we can't get either that or the shop. So hopefully get one dropped here, or else we might be out of luck and not be able to get our item, which will be, needless to say, pretty bad for us. And there is the key we need, so we can come down here, see what we get. And it's probably the worst thing we could get. What this does, basically every turn you get to leave a little poop and kill it and try to get an item out of it. See if you do, not great. Go ahead and just avoid this guy's bombs and his holes that he shoots out, and kill off the little evil, I'm not sure if it's a tear or what, airball. Looks like a cat thing, and pretty easy boss. Especially with Rotten Baby doing a lot of work here. One of the easier ways to deal with him is if he gets hit by one of his bombs by going to it with the hole. Pretty good. We get Monster Tooth unlocked for our first unlocked item. It's not great, and we get Brimstone here, which does that. Pretty effective at clearing rooms and dealing a lot of damage. So now we have two really great items, and the lipstick doesn't do anything anymore because range doesn't matter on this Brimstone, but should be really good as long as we can get a couple of decent damage or tier upgrades, make us shoot faster or deal more damage when we shoot. And it's pretty much item that can win the game for you alone. We still have decent health from the HP up, so we should be in a pretty good condition here. Try to avoid these shots from these spiders. And we take damage from the diagonal shooting little maggot dudes, which is not the best. And there's our key. Go back, get the item room, and we have a mob trap room here. We will check that out once we see what item we can get in here. Infestation, not that great, but still pretty good. It summons more flies. I'm not sure when it does, if it summons them when you kill, when you hit. It'd be pretty good if we had keys, but sadly we do not. These flies explode when they die and shoot blood for these ones. Not too big a fan of them. Avoid that, and let's go down here. So far, so good. We're doing pretty well. We got pretty good items so far. Just looking for some damage augmentation to get our damage up a bit. Maybe a support item or two. Holy Mantle would be great, as it always is. Haven't been using this, so might as well. Don't get anything from them. Shouldn't be too bad for a smaller room. Monkey's Paw is pretty nice. What is this? Oh, it's a hollow, I think it was. I should have read the name. Didn't really get to read it that well. Where is it? Basically a pin. Looks like it has less health, but it has 2 lives, and it does some pretty mean attacks once it's on second. And jumps faster too, and shoots a lot of blood. Oh no, second incarnation's been pretty scary. There's another Eternal Heart, so we're gonna get some HP back. No more damage, but we got some survivability back. 2 HP, as well as, what else did we get? We got Infestation Shot, which should, or Infestation, which should get us more flies, even though I haven't seen any. Looks like due to that, it summons flies when we take damage, as we summoned one once we got it there. Not my favorite. Is obviously trying not to take damage, and therefore shouldn't try to summon too many flies from it. Kill that off, and sticky bombs. Never seen this. I assume just gives you 5 bombs, and then when you use them it leaves a little patch of the sticky goo on the ground, which slows enemies. Probably be the most obvious effect of it. Another key, so we're doing pretty well on the consumable little items we have. Got a pretty decent trinket that I believe summons soul hearts when we get down to minimum health or somewhere around there. It's pretty useful. It helps you stay alive when you get really low. These little clickety steers that just reconstitute when they die and you don't take out their leftovers. Kill another poop. Not really getting much effect from that. Thought we could hit him in time to kill him, but obviously we didn't. I believe this guy will just explode when we kill him in some bomb. We already get our item room, yes. The shop is back here. Might as well come and look at the shop. It's gonna be greed. Gets us some money, so the next shop we should have enough to spend on some pretty good stuff. Greed's not gonna be too big of a boss to fight for us. At the Steam sale, so actually shop items will be half off, which is very nice. I assume we're still pretty early in the game, Flooded Cave, so we should get 2 more shops. Shove shouldn't be too hard. I don't know why I set them into the poop there and dodged into an attack. Showing the death explosions, and we're not doing too great against one of the easiest bosses in the game, Shove. Not brilliant. So we should be able to finish him off here pretty easily without losing too much health. Filth Devil's probably called off, and a little chubby. We get Pageant Boy, which 7 coins, not great. I mean, if we find a shop with a couple of good items, we have the Steam sale and Pageant Boy, which should help us a lot, but even so, it would have been nice to get something for damage. Hourglass. I'm not really willing to do the mob trap room just for the hourglass. Kill that guy off, and we're off on the second last floor. Just really hoping for a good shop with something like Champion's Belt or something else that helps with damage or something. Because we are pretty low damage as is. Looking to get that up quite a bit before going to the boss. I'm going to go into the curse room here, try to get something. And we get nothing except for a bunch of flies from taking damage. Some stuff that would be nice there, but I'm not willing to risk it for the battery, especially for the poop. If we had something like the D6 that rerolls items, it would be worth it, but what we got is not worth it at all. So we're doing pretty good so far. Pretty predictable thanks to Brimstone. I'm going to try to roll for something that'll give us damage. Pyromaniac or Pyro would be interesting. Tears I'll take. Lets us shoot faster. The Fiery Heart would have healed us when we take explosive damage, which is helpful, but if we had something that dealt explosive damage when we shot it, it would be better, but I'm not going to take it just for healing myself. I'd rather go for something that helped us do more damage, as we're pretty much basic aside from a nice health up. Pretty much basic aside from just the Brimstone effect. We don't really have any more tier upgrades. The tears up makes us shoot more often, which is a lot very helpful to us. These guys out with how much this could be helpful. 2 of clubs. Not what I was hoping for, hoping it would be a Joker card and take us to a deal with the devil. Because there are plenty of things in there that would help us a lot, and maybe Monstro 2 will drop something. Get a hit, which is not going to help with the whole trying to get a deal with the devil, and another hit, so taking damage from Monstro 2 that we shouldn't take, theoretically. And didn't get out of the way of the Brimstone Blast in time, which, to be honest, I was trying to bait out to get him to use it and then avoid it, but it's too slow getting out of the way. Just gotta remember to dodge when the tears come down the bottom, and the mosquito dudes get more HP. So needless to say, HP is not a problem here. I think every boss that we've killed has given us an HP up, or else Pageant Boy, which I would rather had an HP up for, but can't really complain too much when you have a Brimstone run. There's a nickel. Still got one more shop and one item room before I believe the boss is here. Rusted key. Too late for me to really care that much about getting keys. There is a damage upgrade in the form of Steven. It used to be the rarest item in the game, but seen him quite a few times and glad to see something that makes us deal more damage when we hit. Are you a wizard? Not going to take it. Grab the key just because we only have 2 and go ahead and donate quite a bit to the donation machine. What this does is it will unlock new items for the store like the blue map, as well as upgrade it to have more slots for things to buy. Go ahead and play the blood bank a couple times as well. Over this 2 clubs again. And lots of bombs. I'm not going to get too low of health because we are almost at the end and don't want to risk it. Was hoping for the HP up that would restore us to full, but we got quite a few coins for the donation anyway. And there is an upgrade to the shop, as well as a bunch of flies from the blood bank. Continue on, get a last item, and not get hit in here. Get to, I think Mom's on this floor. What are we on? Depth 2, so it should be. This room should be a lot easier with Brimstone. Usually it'd be a bit of a pain. Last spider here. Got a lot of bombs, so I'm going to try for either some tarot cards or some black hearts, evil hearts, what have you, not for enemies. There's no way we're going to use all these bombs. That could be helpful. 2 of clubs, 2 of spades, and a joker card. Take that. The other one, flying. I think it's too late for flying. It's not really going to help us with too much more. I'll go ahead and use all these.
Of spades.
Get our items up. Probably not going to need too many more. Pentagram gives us some damage. Even more damage is much needed. Always helpful. Buffs us up a bit more. Buffs up Infested Baby. Should be a pretty easy run to complete here. These guys, it can be a bit of a pain, but not too much of a big deal when we can stay out of range of their attacks the whole time. And here we go. Is that? No, we don't have our item room yet. I'm gonna actually go back for the item room before fighting Mom. Hopefully get some more of our health back. Try to find our secret room. Usually located in a space between where it's adjacent to 3 different rooms. So I'm going to go ahead and try each of the options. Probably not here because it's usually not going to be where you can't bomb. In one of the rooms. There's a cursed room, not going to waste the HP. Arcade and a beggar. Actually, we don't really have any money. I was going to say it should be helpful, but we donated all our money. And he's going to give us bombs, which basically is one of the only things we really don't need whatsoever. Before you can do too much. Thank you, Infested Baby, and we get Seraphim. Did Seraphim make Infested Baby a little bigger? Seems like he did, and he's shooting off little holy shots. That's worth a coin or a key. You don't even have to spend a key. We got a soul heart and a plain red heart. Nothing from those, and try for the secret room, and after that we are ready to go after the boss. And there is the secret room and a 1-up room, which is going to give us 1 extra life. Probably not going to be too helpful as it just respawns us with pretty much no HP. So if we use it, we're probably in a bad position anyway. But right now, as of this point, we're in a really good position. Got some pretty good damage from Steven and the pentagram, as well as the tears up from, I forget which tears up we got. We're in a pretty good position here. Dealing decent damage. We have the Brimstone, so it should be able to keep us from being overwhelmed by little minion spawns. Here before I get hit by one shot stupidly. And it looks like we should be able to win this one here pretty easily. Hit by the foot, and there we go. We unlocked the womb, accidentally skipped the cutscene at the end and a bunch of challenges. A bunch of them. Unlocked the 4 horsemen, the Cuban meat and ball of bandages. Not too great, but they can be useful items. Thank you all for watching the first run of the Binding of Isaac, however, and I hope to see you all again next time.